I do see another person who I wonder if they're also looking for the event. Um, One, because they look a little bit downtrodden and lost, like like they were waiting for friends that didn't show up or something. So I go start a brief conversation with her, but it's as she's finished her food and she leaves shortly. Fine. Um, as I'm talking with these other people and sitting at the bar and watching the games and stuff, I also notice that as some people come in, the bartender directs them, like, "Hey, you're here for an event. The events are on the second and third floor, and they're the stairs." Um, and it is a little reminder to me that the bartender didn't do that when I came in, and I feel like the difference was that these folks came in looking a bit lost, right? And lost and out of place and potentially uncomfortable. And upon seeing that, the bartender, throws him a lifeline of, hey, maybe what you're looking for is upstairs. Um, which is a little bit of a lesson to me that, hey, I came in, being in the same place looking for an event and not finding it, but I was more comfortable, and that showed outwardly, right? It manifested itself in the way I appeared and was confident and spoke to people, etc. And so it wasn't assumed that I was lost and out of place and everything else. Anyways, these people start going upstairs, and eventually I realize the group that I had originally planned to join is probably on the second floor, and I can kind of see up to the second floor and see them sitting there and talking. But I was enjoying the conversation with the people around me. So, like, oh, I can go up and, say, hey, I'm here for the event too. Or I could keep conversing with the people around me. Decide to keep conversing with the people around me. Eventually, the people who were upstairs from the event that I was supposed to go to come down to start ordering food, right? Um, so as they're doing that, I'm starting little small interactions with them, brief conversations and things like that. But also I'm kind of at the end of the bar and they tend to kind of congregate toward me. One, because this end of the bar is closest to the stairs. And, you know, I think maybe they just looked across the bar and say, I feel comfortable standing here as opposed to standing somewhere else. And so that's also why they decided to congregate around me. As they congregate, I can overhear some of the conversations they're having with each other. And the short version of the story is like, I hear a lot of judgment, right? Some of it is like maybe self-judgment. Like, one of the things I heard was, it seems like a lot of the people here know each other and are kind of already friends, right? And what that said in my mind was, I'm not finding the group as friendly and open as I would have hoped. So, another kind of couple of people come down, and what I hear is, one person places the order, and then the second person, what'd you get? What'd you order? And then they order the same thing, right? And for me, that's like, okay, instead of ordering what you wanted, you ordered what someone else did, maybe because you felt like that would be the safe option, right? And either safe in terms of, hey, this person's been here before, and so they're ordering the right thing, but the person had not been there before, as I had heard, overheard in the previous conversation. Or safe thing of, instead of ordering what I really want, it's safer for me to blend in with the group, and so let me order the same thing as the other folks in the group. These conversations and a couple other things again left me a little bit unimpressed, right? I was down there enjoying my conversation with the people at the bar. Felt like they were being social, felt like the conversation was dynamic, and then compare that to the group that I'd intended to meet up with and heard things that were not as impressive. And so I still, conversed with them, made jokes, things like that, to the point where they said, "Hey, we're on the second floor if you want to come up and join us." And I chose not to. I chose to stay down on the first floor with the bar with these other people that essentially I hadn't met before, didn't know, and wasn't planning on meeting when I necessarily came out. But I feel like the lesson overall here is that as you are working on your social skills, it will cause you to examine your judgments of yourself and others, and it will cause you to rethink or reevaluate or reflect on how frequently you are doing things to blend into the larger group, right? To not stand out. And in terms of how or why I felt like the conversation with the people at the bar was better than maybe what this group would be, was because I could kind of tell they were more socially comfortable down by the bar, people who went out to kind of hang out and socialize and just sit and eat and maybe talk to the others around them, as opposed to the group who would not have been out if it was not this specially advertised event for a group of like individuals that they maybe felt more comfortable showing up at, right? And I feel like that has definitely been a change within me, is that two things. One, I value people who are more comfortable in different social situations much more now that I have myself put in a lot of time and effort to be more comfortable in social situations, right? And it's kind of like something you can see pretty readily. And if you can't even just see it in terms of the comfort or discomfort that someone is feeling when you start a conversation with them, there is also uh, a bit that comes across in their conversation, right? In where their headspace is at, as was brought to light in the story I shared. So, as you're going out and being more social, you'll be more comfortable in these situations. You'll be able to read others and their comfort levels more easily. And what I've certainly found myself is that I value and enjoy the time with people who are more social, who are more comfortable, and who are a little bit more willing to not just stick in with the larger group, right? And I think this is something that has been cultivated in me, right? As I've been going out, putting myself in these situations that made me uncomfortable, I have, I initially felt like I was standing out and being awkward and being anxious and um, not fitting in. That feeling has definitely decreased over time. And now I see myself more as someone who is doing things and taking on challenges that most people do not, right? And I feel like that's very much justified because I feel like I want extraordinary results. And to get extraordinary results, you have to go beyond what is ordinary. And I feel like the social work that I've been putting in to get more comfortable in different situations and different environments, talking to different people, and be able to connect with them all the same has been a demonstration that what started as, overcoming my own anxieties and discomforts now has become really like a point of pride and a factor that is a point of of differentiation when I look at others, right? And I say differentiation and not judgment because I think you want to screen for others and the values and qualities in them, particularly when you're deciding whether they're going to be a friend or a business partner or, a potential romantic connection or whatever. But at the same time, I don't think it's necessarily all that beneficial to judge others broadly, right? One, because we're all human, we're not so different. And two, because I recognize, hey, the same place that some of these people are right now, I was there and potentially even worse than that socially myself not so long ago, right? And so judging them would be a judgment on me. And when I was in this place where I wasn't as advanced socially, it wasn't that I was doing things that I really felt were bad. I was doing things that I felt were right and that I thought were the best for me, right? So I recognize that others, however they're showing up, are often, or I assume everyone is doing what they feel is best, what they think is best, what they think will give them the best results, right? And so the judgment really isn't beneficial in that broader sense of just talking to and interacting with the people around you, right? I do feel like there is a place for the judgment again how, when it comes to more involved, more in-depth relationships, conversations, connections, etc. But just generally, I feel like a better approach to have is to meet people where they're at. Now, again, even in this story that I shared, when it came to how I want to spend my time, right? How I want to spend that Thursday evening, I chose to do it with the people that I felt like would be more social, more talkative, more comfortable having different conversations, having a laugh, etc. So I've seen that this is definitely a change in me, and I feel like it is not uncommon for others who have put in a lot of time and effort to develop their social skills to really screen for social awareness and social comfortability is a word I never used to use, the social comfortability in those that they end up calling their friends or that they end up having sustained relationships with, right? So, all in all, I would say working on your social skills changes your perspective and how you interact with the world. And this has just been kind of some of the examples in the way it does that. But what I would say overall is that it's a good thing, right? I'm feel very confident that I had more of an enjoyable time talking with the folks at the bar than I would have folks who were less socially comfortable, adept, or aware. So the good times keep coming as you improve your social skills, and that's why I'm rooting for you. Take care.